Huzzah! And welcome to the first Final Five Senate. At this Senate, you will be voting to sentence someone to fight to the death in the final duel. This duel will be a public 2 out of 3 falls bout where you will get to compete to earn a spot in the final four of Kaleidoscope Coliseum. So, let's start with you tonight, William. This is the first time you've been vulnerable in a long time. Please walk us through how you went about this round.
Well, I accosted Andrew because he ruined my streak, bullied him for that. And then I think these rounds are where like relationships are really trusted because you're put in a vulnerable position. And so I think this round I am trying to navigate these in-game relationships the best I can and finding my path to the end. So, yeah.
Andrew, is that what this is all about in game? Is it about how to best position yourself to be sitting against the right person in the final two?
Normally, yes, but because we have a twist coming up, we can't really worry about that aspect of the game right now because, you know, for one of us, our game's not going to be left up to a vote. It's going to be left up to some random person that's going to cast a vote and send us out. I don't, it's not really a defeatist attitude. It's more of I have an attitude of if the person that ends up casting a vote votes me, it's like, okay, I did everything that I could. This one was out of my hands to a certain extent, and I can't complain about it. So I'm not really focusing on that aspect of the game just yet until we get past the next twist.
Okay, text me in the morning.
One, does it change the way that you vote, knowing now that one, voting somebody out, you're competing against the champion of the Coliseum thus far, and then two, that the winner of that duel will be in the final four?
Oh my gosh, Topher, thank you for asking me the same question as last tribal council.
Did
I'm
I
kidding.
did I ask you the same question as last tribal council? I can ask you a different question. One, tell us, what is it like to know that you're at the final five right now, but you will have to compete against Et tu Brute, the twist, where one person gets the deciding vote of who to go home, and one of their options is already safe.
Um, it it feels crazy because we're already down to that point where that's really a thing that is right in front of us right now, and yeah, it's going back to your first question. I mean, I think it factors into the vote, but as I always say, you have to get to that point before you worry about if you can survive that point.
Nova, is there a lot of talk about was there enough strategy going into it that we've planned to prepare for whoever could have the Et tu Brute?
I mean, I think people have definitely been strategizing somewhat, but people have also been trying to be honest, so it's a little bit of a crapshoot. Um, and just the way the tribes worked early on, it makes things kind of hard to predict because if you think about it, both of the swap tribes had completely different situations when it came to the trust rankings because one tribe was getting way more trust rankings, but on one tribe, you couldn't go near as low. And it's just kind of hard to factor that in with like everything that's happened before and everything that's happened with all of the people having meltdowns and da 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 da. It it's just been so long that it's just really hard to even make a concise decision on what's probably going to happen.
William, is there any concern about who comes back and what information they bring back in the game?
Yes and no. I think that that person could be intentional with the misinformation to cause havoc. You know what I mean? And so I think there's that fear, but I think there's also, is there an opportunity to gather more information from what people have been voted out? So it's like a 50-50 split, and you kind of have to dig through the shit to find what actually is good. So
Andrew, is there a quest to possibly gain insight into what the jury may be thinking?
You broke out right there. I heard what the jury might be thinking, and is there insight? Was the question,
Yeah.
is there insight into what the jury might be thinking?
With the person coming back, can it work both
Yes.
ways? And you gain insight into what the jury
Okay.
might be.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Someone could come back and just be like, hey, this is exactly what everyone feels. And they could also come back and say, hey, this is how everyone feels, but I'm totally lying about everything. And like, I mean, this is basically what William just said, but it's true. I mean, I've done that before. I've been voted out of a game and come back and just made up all these lies about what was going on in the jury because the person that I wanted out, it's like, hey, the way that I do this is by painting this person as a target. That person didn't end up going out. He ended up winning the game. But once again, like I can't, me personally, I can't worry about what the jury are talking about right now because, there's going to be a round of this game that, for the most part, is going to be out of everyone who is left hands, and we just have to. I think from there we can start thinking about it. And like, thankfully, there'll be 3 of us plus whoever comes back, to kind of go over, what's been said and what's not been said. But like right now, we can't really focus on that because one of us is going to go home off of one vote. I hope that's not beating around the bush, but like that's my real answer. I'm really cold, so like I can't lie right now. I can't lie right now.
Juan, is there any worry or fear that idols and advantages and extra votes could come out tonight?
I mean, that's always a thing, but I feel like right now we've seen so much get used, and personally, I don't think that there's really anything left. But again, I could be wrong. You never know. It's Survivor, but it's always something in the back of your head every tribal council until after this one. So it's a thought, but I guess we'll find out.
All right. And Nova, has this round been explosive or has it been rather peaceful? Does somebody feel on the outs or are we in for a complete blindside?
I'd say peaceful, which I know I've been kind of slow today just because we've been here for 60,000 years and I'm tired. Yeah, no, it's been fairly peaceful, at least on my end.
All right. Well, with that, we will find out who is in fact disturbing the peace. I'm going to go off camera and mute myself. And while I am away, please do not talk about anything except for anything. Please talk about anything except for this vote and the game. Thank you. I'll be back.
Shout out to Catboy.
Nova's #1 fan. Go Catboy.
My #1 fan who likes to yell at me.
That's how I feel when I watch reality TV. I just yell at the screen because I want them to do something different.
Mm-hmm.
You know, get your
So
shit together.
I've been at rehearsal since 9 a.m. It's
Oof.
the last rehearsal of the season. Last show tomorrow. I can finally rest on the weekends until marching band.
When does that start?
Auditions are on the 1st.
Oh my God.
But it doesn't really start until like October. So
Hmm.
July, August, September, October.
Still. Ugh.
I'm just tired. I don't have to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning because we're not leaving until noon.
That's like we don't leave until like 11 tomorrow. And I'm like, thank God.
Shout out all the bad bitches.
I'm right here.
And shout out to Chanel because she that girl, even though she's probably not watching. Uh, but shout out to her. Shout out to the J Squad in my prod chat, even though they never talk to me. Um,
Shout out to Andrew's liver. Really holding on strong.
We're the real one.
Andrew, did you hear what I said? Oh. That's so funny.
I have the votes. Once the votes are read, the final gladiator to be sentenced to fight to the death in the final duel of the Colosseum will be revealed. But before I read the votes, if anybody has a hidden immunity idol or other relevant advantage that they would like to play, now is the time to do so.
Topher. I'll
Yes,
go.
Will.
Or Nova, you unmuted. You go first.
No, I'll let you go first.
No, I'll let you go first.
No, you can go first.
No,
BB.
you can go first.
You can go first, BB.
No, you go first.
Okay. So we've had this whole thing about like gods and everything. I would have loved to have protection of a Roman god. Unfortunately, I don't have any Roman gods. I have Cthulhu. So, old gods. And I am invoking the power of Cthulhu for the blessing of protection, I guess. I don't know. Prod sent this to me. I can attest that's true. That's completely true. So, yeah,
Are
this
you-
is an item.
Let me check the scroll.
Yeah.
I can, in fact, verify that according to this scroll, this is, in fact, a hidden immunity idol.
I could
Are
have sworn
you-
it was a
Cthulhu.
Any votes cast for Nova will not count.
My turn now, I guess.
Your turn, William.
Oh my God. Hello, everyone. It's been a long game, and I've been safe for a lot of it. And I think we're in a position to, kind of shake things up a little bit. And I don't know if this will shoot me in the foot or not. But Juan, I'm going to play my half idol on you.
All right. I have another scroll here.
my gosh.
This is, in fact, half of a hidden immunity idol, which means that half of all votes cast against Juan will not count. If there is an odd number of votes, the larger of the two halves will be deemed to be safe. So, half the votes cast for Juan will not count. Half the votes cast for, or all of the votes cast for Nova will not count. And I will read the votes. First vote. 1 does not count. 1 does not count. 1 does count. 1 vote 1. Debbie. 1 vote Debbie. 1 vote 1. 1 vote Debbie. 1 vote left. The last player, Gladiator, to be sentenced to fight to the death in the final duel of the Colosseum. The best 2 out of 3 falls extravaganza, viewed by the gladiators that are still remaining in Caesar, is Debbie. Debbie is not here. Debbie will have the opportunity to send a goodbye message, but for now, Debbie is going into the Colosseum. The 4 of you have made it to the next phase of Kaleidoscope Colosseum. You all live to fight another day. You will be partaking in the Et tu, Brute twist, where the person who is the least trustworthy, the person who was not placed last the least amount of times, will get to make the decision as to who they will slain going in to the final 4.
Love you, Debbie.
Yeah.
Is that-
Huzzah.